Hey y'all. Honestly, you don't want to generalize or whatever, like about like certain like neighborhoods or whatever. But I grew up in one of like the most roughest like neighborhoods you can possibly grow up in. Like we're talking about like shootings and like all manner of like terrible activity. But like you grew up there because it's cheaper rent or whatever. Like you like be growing up poor, you can't really like complain or whatever. You're just trying to find the most cheapest place to try to like stretch the money as far as possible. So growing up in these places, like you sort of like pick up on certain things like places you should go and what time you should go to or what places you should not go. Just pretty much trying to survive until like better days, greener pastures or whatever. But there was this basketball court close to where I lived, close to my house. And honestly, past like 3 p.m. Around 3 p.m. or so, like you don't want to go to that basketball court because shady people are there and like honestly like a whole bunch of like activities, like we're talking about fights, gangs meet up to like fight each other. Like it's a terrible place to go to after like 3 p.m. or so. So, you know, I meet up with a couple of my friends because they lived close by me, and some live like a little bit, like maybe like a 3 minute walk down the street. So we meet up at like where I live, and they were telling me about going to the basketball court. I don't know why I didn't like. The energy just was off that day. I'm like, honestly, I would prefer not to go. Like something in my spirit was just like, honestly, like probably don't go. But they brought the basketball or whatever, so it's like you can't really, you don't want to be a party pooper. You don't want to be like, Debbie Downer. You don't want to be that guy that like just. So I gave in. So we went to the basketball court and we're there. We're playing a bit. We're playing. I think like 2v2, and I think my team was losing. But it's just fun. Like it's just you just like as a kid like not having a lot of things like stuff like this is just amazing. You just you just play and like forget like different problems or whatever in your life. It was just a good time. I loved it every minute of it. But from the corner of my eye, I seen like a group of like three dudes approaching, like, and I'm like, boy. But this time, like, it was early in the morning because it's like, like, we know definitely not to go to the basketball court, or at least this basketball court, after 3 p.m. So it was like early in the morning, like maybe 10 or 11. But I guess we've been playing for a while, but it's still only been like slightly after 12. So we're there. So I seen the dudes approaching. Honestly, like when it comes to like I guess hood etiquette, you kind of like you don't want to like act too quote unquote like suspicious or like standoffish or whatever, like because sometimes the smartest thing to do is like when you see them coming, you just like run, right? Like, but I guess it was too late. Like, and like we're sort of like I am the only one that saw it, and I didn't say, oh guys, those dudes over there are coming to us. They're like maybe late teens, like they're probably like 17 up, so like or like 17 up to like maybe early 20s, big dudes. So they're like, hey, could we play with you guys? Pretty much is what they said. Like, we don't have a basketball, and we'll play with you guys. We'll do teams. So it'll be like two big guys on one team with like a couple of the small dudes and the other guy, big guy, with the other three dudes. So it was like 4v4. So we're sort of playing for a bit, like, but the whole atmosphere is just like, just tension and like anxiety, because you like you can tell like these dudes, like, you don't want to like, generalize or like, stereotype, but like the energy that these dudes were giving off was just like, something's about to happen. So I would assume like my friend picked up on, like, the owner of the basketball picked up on it, and like, oh yeah, I think after we played like to like 11, I think, like first to 11, or like somewhere around there, like, like, just say first to 11 or first to like 20 or whatever. My friend said, oh, we have to go, we have to go home, like pretty much an excuse or whatever, like just to leave. Oh, we have to go home, our parents. So you grab this basketball. So you have to make sure to grab your basketball quickly. Like, yeah, or you have to say this stuff while you already have the basketball in your possession. Because if you don't, they're gonna be like, oh, can we borrow the basketball? We'll give it to you tomorrow, or we'll come to your house and deliver it to you. Like a whole bunch of craziness like that. That's just not gonna happen. Like, you just learn from like different experiences with different people, and you realize that like when you say stuff like this, because we are not a threat to them, like, they are gonna like try to grab the basketball or keep the basketball if they have it in their hands or whatever. So my friend got it, and pretty much while he's walking away was when he said, oh, we have to go. So we're pretty much trying to leave. So my friends are in front of me, like, they're walking off the court, and I'm obviously getting ready to walk off the court too. Like, let's go, let's get the hell out of here. Somebody grabbed me from the back, right? Grabbed me from the back, like chokehold me, and then like lift my arms up like in the air, like, like a rear naked chokehold, like, but like your arms, I guess that may be what a rear naked choke, like your arms up in the air, and their hands is behind your head, and their arms like interlock with your hands to keep your hands up. But it's just not a good look for me, and I'm the only one that got caught. So my friends like, oh, what's going on? Like, like they, like I'm saying, what, sort of like saying like, what happened? Like, what's the problem? Then like, they begun to laugh. They're like, like, just like, I don't even know what they're saying, cause like the world just slowed down to me. Like, it's like my life is flashing before my eyes. I don't know what the hell these guys are about to do to me. Like, maybe stab, maybe shoot me, or like, like probably gonna rob me. But like, I'm poor. Like, I didn't have anything. I don't have a cell phone. I barely have a good shoes. I've been wearing like the same shorts I wear every single day. Because they're only like 3 or 4 different shorts, so you just wear like, some they wear back to back, or you interlace them away where they're not too dirty until the weekend come you wash. So I'm there, I'm caught up, scared as hell, frightened, like sweating bullets. My life is flashing before my eyes. I won't be able to finish. I won't be able to finish That's So Raven. Although I think it was like old by this time, or like the reruns. It was like reruns of like That's So Raven and like Hannah Montana, and like, because we're probably like 10 years old at this time, right? So it's like all we watch is like Disney and like Nickelodeon and like, the usual, Cartoon Network. Like, that's what we watched. So all the shows that I'll never get to watch and experience is all flashing before my eyes. I didn't get to live to see the end of like, my favorite TV shows. It's just a bad scene for me. Like, everything was just really, really terrible. Like, so one of the guys pulled something out from the back of his pants, or like underneath his long t-shirt or whatever it was, and began to light it. As I look, I'm starting to realize, because I'm like, obviously I'm shaking and like frantically, like, say, get off of me. What did I do? What was the problem? So they took the guy took something out and pretty much light it and then aim it at me. As I realize it's a firecracker, like, those the candle, the fire candle, whatever it's called, and fires it at me while the other guy's holding it, and like fires at me, like it was hit, like all the shots were hitting me. Like, matter of fact, after this, I still have permanent burns on like my chest and like of where it hit me. Like they may have hit me, like, cause his other friend passed him other ones, so like they hit me with like maybe 2.5 of like those firecracker shooting things. Burn up my t-shirt, like holes in my t-shirt. It was just terrible, like terrible. So like the guy that was holding me, I guess he was starting to get hit, so he kind of let me go. So the guy came closer to try to aim it at me, so I took off, and my friend took off as well. They took off like the moment the guy started firing at me, so they pretty much left me there, which I understand. Well, what could they do? You know, we're elementary school kids. Like we have, like, you know, we can't do nothing against these late teens, early 20 big dudes. So I took off, like I'm running. I'm still getting some hits in my back. Some of the shooting firecrackers like passing me while I'm running, and I pretty much ran to like my friend's house that was like, you know, 3 minutes up the street or whatever. And then we somehow knew that we should go there, so we all meet there, and then they're like telling me, oh, you have a whole bunch of holes there, because like adrenaline's going through your, like, you know, going through your body, so it's like you can't really feel it until like afterwards, then you feel the pain, the burn of like those firecrackers. So I had a whole bunch of holes in my t-shirt. Pretty much one of my only t-shirts are now burned up, and I had to pretty much sneak back into my house without my parents seeing, because if they see it, they'll, like, you know, they'll ask questions, and like, you know, it's just proms and more proms and proms. So I sneaked in, pretty much hiding my t-shirt underneath my bed until I can like throw it out permanently in the garbage later on, like days later. So based off of the story, you can clearly tell we did not ever go back to that basketball court ever again. No matter what time it was, we never ever went back to that basketball court. We played basketball a different place. Like, we would rather travel to a different place to play basketball, or sometimes we just play tag, or like, you know, throwing frisbees, like just like, you know, anything else rather than go there. Because the thing is, like, we try to go there to try to maneuver the right time to like safely play there, and it didn't work out. So we just said, you know what, just never again. Terrifying time. And every time I seen those dudes, I would like try to like maneuver my way to like not like cross paths with them. I don't know if they even remember me, like, because, you know, it's just like some random kids you pick on. Like, they may not even like really notice, like, you know, like you're just some random kid to pick on. Like, you're not, like, it's not even like personal. It's just like they are up to no good, and you just so happen to be their target, and you get pretty much jumped and like firecracker. They fire their firecrackers at you, point blank range, burning you up, leaving permanent like burn marks on your body and burn spots on your body. It's just no good. Terrible place to live in. Terrible event. Traumatizing. Horrible. Thank you so much for watching.